Hello, I'm Jacqueline McInnes Wood, and welcome back to my official channel.
Hello, I'm Jacqueline McInnes Wood, and welcome back to my official channel. So look, I know it is crazy late right now. I am sitting here at my laptop in my sweatpants, and my eyes are practically burning out of my skull. But my phone just blew up with the most insane insider scoop I have ever received in my entire life. And I just had to start typing. I am literally shaking right now because the information I just got is going to completely destroy everything we know about the bold and the beautiful. And I mean everything. I am not even going to bother spell checking this or making it sound pretty. I am just a tired journalist on a massive deadline who needs to dump all of this raw, unfiltered information onto the page before my brain explodes. So grab a coffee or a drink or whatever you need to get through this, because the Forrester family is about to be nuked from orbit. And let's just start with a quick recap of the absolute mess we are currently in, because you all know what just happened at the Cliff House. Steffi and Finn took the kids on that cute little overnight camping trip, a nice, wholesome family getaway. But the minute they left, Taylor decided to completely lose her mind and play with fire. She actually invited Deacon Sharp over to the house. And we all know that Sheila Carter is a ticking time bomb. So of course Sheila showed up with a literal butcher knife because she heard moaning and thought Taylor was being attacked. But no, it was just Taylor and Deacon hooking up. And Deacon had to jump out of a second-story window butt naked just to escape. Just pure, unadulterated chaos. So Steffi gets home from camping and she finds the bedroom door completely busted down. And she demands to know what happened. And Taylor actually confesses the truth about Deacon being there, and Steffi just goes absolutely ballistic. Which she should, because Sheila is a psychopath. If Sheila finds out that her husband is cheating on her with Taylor Hayes, she is not just going to shrug it off. She is going to go on a murderous rampage. And she won't just target Taylor. She will target Steffi. She will target Finn. She will target little Kelly and Hayes. So Steffi laid down the law. She screamed at her mother and ordered her to never, ever see Deacon again, period. But Taylor is completely delusional right now. She is acting like a lovesick teenager who thinks she can outsmart the devil. She actually told Steffi that their secret is safe and that she plans to keep having secret dates with Deacon, which is just insane because Sheila is already connecting the dots. Sheila saw that pizza box from Il Giardino. Sheila knows Deacon was lying about his dinner with Hope. Sheila is already plotting her revenge, and Steffi can feel it in her bones. Steffi knows that her mother is going to get them all killed. So Steffi realizes that talking to Taylor is useless. Taylor is completely compromised, and Steffi has to protect her family. She has to protect her kids. So she decides to take matters into her own hands. If Taylor won't stay away from Deacon, then Steffi is going to force Deacon to stay away from Taylor, because Steffi is a fighter. She is not just going to sit around and wait for Sheila to show up with a gun. She is going to cut the head off the snake, and she tracks Deacon down. She finds him, and she just marches right up to him with fire in her eyes, and she doesn't hold back. She gets right in his face and starts ripping him apart. She tells him that he is a selfish, pathetic coward. She tells him that his stupid little affair is going to get her entire family slaughtered by his psychotic wife, and she demands that he stay away from Taylor. She tells him to never call her, never text her, never look at her again. She is laying down the absolute law because she is Steffi Forrester and she protects her own. But Deacon doesn't cower and he doesn't apologize. And this is where the story takes a turn that I literally cannot even process right now, because Deacon just looks at her and he has this look of pure agony on his face, like a man who has been carrying a massive, crushing weight for decades. And he doesn't yell back. He just stares at her with tears welling up in his eyes. And he tells her that he can't stay away. And Steffi is confused. She thinks he is just being stubborn or obsessed with her mother. She tells him he has to stay away or she will destroy him. But Deacon shakes his head and he drops the biggest bomb in the history of daytime television. He looks Steffi dead in the eye and he tells her that he is her father. I literally spilled my cold coffee all over my desk when I read this part of my notes. I am not even joking. Deacon Sharp is Steffi's biological father. Let that sink in for a minute. Let the sheer gravity of those words wash over you. Steffi Forrester, the ultimate Forrester, the fierce co-CEO of Forrester Creations, the namesake of the legendary Stephanie Forrester, is not a Forrester by blood. She is Deacon Sharp's daughter. And Steffi's reaction is exactly what you would expect. She completely shuts down. She thinks it is a sick joke. She calls him a liar. She accuses him of trying to manipulate her to get back at Ridge or to keep seeing Taylor. She is screaming at him, telling him he is insane. But Deacon just keeps talking. And the details he gives her are too specific to be a lie. He tells her everything. He spills a secret that has been buried for nearly 30 years. Because 30 years ago, things were very different. Taylor and Ridge were married, but their marriage was rocky. Ridge was always torn between Taylor and Brooke. He was always running off to rescue Brooke or getting caught up in some Logan drama. And Taylor was left alone. She was lonely, she was insecure, she felt neglected by the man who was supposed to be her soulmate. And during one of those dark, lonely periods, she crossed paths with Deacon Sharp. And Deacon was the ultimate bad boy back then. He was charming and dangerous, and he gave Taylor the attention she was so desperately craving. And they had an affair, a secret, passionate, hidden affair that nobody ever knew about. Not Ridge, not Brooke, not Stephanie, nobody. And during that affair, Taylor got pregnant, and Taylor panicked because she was the world-renowned psychiatrist. She was the moral compass of Los Angeles. She was the woman who constantly judged Brooke Logan for her scandalous behavior. She couldn't be exposed as a cheating wife who got knocked up by a bartender. So she lied. She buried the truth deep down in her soul, and she passed the baby off as Ridge's. She let Ridge believe that he was the father. She let the entire Forrester family believe that they had a new heir. And Steffi is just standing there listening to this, and she is literally getting physically sick. The room is spinning. She can't breathe. Her chest is tight. Because if this is true, her entire identity is a lie. Everything she thought she knew about herself, about her family, about her place in the world is completely shattered. She is not Ridge Forrester's biological daughter. She is the spawn of the man who caused so much pain in their lives. And I just have to stop typing for a second and think about the massive, earth-shattering ripple effects of this revelation, because my brain is literally short-circuiting trying to process all the connections. If Deacon is Steffi's father, that means Hope Logan is her half-sister. Hope, the woman Steffi has been at war with for her entire adult life. The woman she has fought with over Liam, over Thomas, over Forrester Creations. They are not just stepsisters anymore. They share blood. They are actual sisters. It is disgusting and poetic and absolutely insane all at the same time. And what about Phoebe? Oh my God, Phoebe. Steffi's twin sister who died in that tragic car accident years ago. Because Steffi and Phoebe were twins, that means Phoebe was Deacon's daughter too. Deacon lost a daughter he never even knew he had. The tragedy of that is just overwhelming. And Ridge mourned Phoebe as his own flesh and blood. Ridge has spent decades loving Steffi and Phoebe with his entire heart. And the legal implications. Guys, think about Forrester Creations. Stephanie Forrester left her massive block of shares to Steffi because Steffi was her namesake, because Steffi was a blood Forrester. If Steffi is a Sharp, does that mean her shares can be contested? Does Thomas have a claim to take the company from her? because Thomas is actually Ridge's biological son. So Thomas and Steffy are only half siblings now. This is going to tear the boardroom apart. Carter is going to have an absolute nightmare trying to sort out the legal mess of a 30-year paternity fraud. But the absolute worst part of this entire situation, the most terrifying, stomach-churning reality that Steffy has to face right now is Sheila Carter. Because Deacon is married to Sheila, which legally makes Sheila Carter Steffy's stepmother, the woman who terrorized her family, the woman who shot her in cold blood in that alley, the woman who shot Finn and left them both to bleed to death in the garbage. That woman is now her family. Sheila is the step-grandmother to Kelly and Hayes. I am literally gagging just thinking about it. It is the most twisted, sick reality imaginable. So Steffy can't take it anymore. She runs out of Deacon's place. She gets into her car and she is driving like a maniac back to the Cliff House, and she is just sobbing. She is hyperventilating. Her hands are gripping the steering wheel so hard that her knuckles are completely white. She is having all these flashbacks, every memory she has of Ridge holding her as a little girl, every time Ridge called her his princess, every time she proudly declared herself a Forester. It was all built on a massive, disgusting lie told by the woman she trusted most in the world. She pulls up to the Cliff House and she doesn't even bother closing her car door. She just storms up the walkway. She bursts through the front door and Taylor is just sitting there. Maybe she is reading a book or sipping a cup of herbal tea, acting like everything is perfectly normal, acting like she didn't almost get sliced open by a crazy woman with a butcher knife yesterday, acting like she is the perfect innocent mother, and Steffy just completely loses her mind. She doesn't say hello. She doesn't ease into it. She just looks at her mother with pure, unadulterated hatred in her eyes, and she screams the question at her, is Deacon Sharp my father? And the reaction from Taylor is just everything. My sources tell me this scene is going to win every single daytime Emmy next year because Taylor just freezes. The color completely drains from her face. She looks like she just saw a ghost. The tea mug slips out of her hand and shatters on the hardwood floor. Just completely shatters into a million pieces, exactly like her lies, exactly like her daughter's life. And Taylor doesn't even try to deny it. She can't. The secret has been eating her alive for 30 years, and she just crumbles. She falls to her knees and she starts sobbing. Just these deep, ugly, guttural sobs. And she looks up at Steffy and she nods. She actually nods and she confesses. She tells Steffy everything. She admits to the affair. She admits that she was feeling lost and lonely and that Deacon paid attention to her. She admits that when she found out she was pregnant, she was terrified. She couldn't bear the thought of losing Ridge. She couldn't bear the thought of the scandal. She couldn't let Brooke win. Because if the world found out that the pristine Taylor Hayes slept with a bartender and got pregnant, Brooke would have destroyed her. So she lied. She forged the documents. She manipulated the tests. She did whatever she had to do to make sure Ridge believed Steffy and Phoebe were his, and Taylor is just begging for forgiveness. She is grabbing onto Steffy's legs, crying, saying that she did it to protect her, saying that she wanted Steffy to have a perfect life, a life of luxury and privilege as a Forester. She didn't want Steffy to grow up as the bastard child of a loser like Deacon Sharp. She thought she was doing the right thing. She thought she could take the secret to her grave, but Steffy is not having it. Steffy kicks her away. Steffy is screaming at the top of her lungs. The betrayal is just too deep because Taylor has spent her entire life acting like she is better than everyone else. Taylor has spent decades judging Brooke for her affairs, judging Brooke for sleeping with Deacon. And all this time, Taylor did the exact same thing. Taylor slept with Deacon too. But Taylor's sin is infinitely worse because Brooke owned her mistake. Taylor committed paternity fraud and stole 30 years of truth from her own daughter and the man she claimed to love. And I just cannot stop typing about how this is going to affect Ridge. Ridge is going to absolutely shatter. Ridge's entire identity is tied up in being the protector of his family. He loves Steffy more than life itself. When he finds out that Taylor lied to him every single day for 30 years, every time he kissed his daughter's forehead, every time he celebrated a birthday, it was all a lie. Ridge might actually kill Deacon. He might actually wrap his hands around Deacon's throat and choke the life out of him. Or he might just collapse and never recover. The psychological trauma this is going to inflict on Ridge Forrester is beyond anything we have ever seen on this show. And what about Brooke? Oh my God. Brooke Logan is going to have an absolute field day with this information. For years, Taylor has looked down her nose at Brooke, called her the slut from the valley, called her a homewrecker, and now Brooke gets to look Taylor in the eye and know that Taylor is the biggest fraud in the history of Los Angeles. Brooke is going to use this to destroy Taylor's reputation forever. Taylor will never be able to show her face in high society again. Her psychiatric practice is going to be ruined because who would ever trust a therapist who lied about her own child's paternity for 3 decades? And then there is the Finn angle. Poor Finn. He just got back from a camping trip. He thinks the biggest problem in his life is dealing with his crazy birth mother, Sheila. Now he has to find out that his wife is biologically related to the woman who shot them both. How does Finn process this? Does this push Finn away from Steffy? Does the sheer toxicity of the Sharp bloodline make Finn reconsider his entire marriage? Because Finn is a doctor. He believes in genetics. He knows that Sheila's crazy is in Deacon's orbit. And now it is in his wife's DNA. And I keep circling back to Hope. Hope and Steffy, the eternal rivals, they have fought over everything. And now they have to sit at a Thanksgiving table and acknowledge that they share a father. Does this make them closer? Absolutely not. Steffy is going to resent Hope even more. Steffy is going to look at Hope and see the legitimate daughter of Deacon Sharp, while Steffy is the dirty little secret, the bastard child born of deceit. The psychological warfare between these two women is about to reach nuclear levels. And let's talk about Deacon for a second. Deacon has known this entire time. Every time he looked at Steffy, every time he interacted with her, he knew he was looking at his own flesh and blood. How did he keep it a secret? Why did he keep it a secret? Did Taylor pay him off? Did Taylor threaten him? Or did he actually believe that Steffy was better off without him? Deacon has always been a tragic figure. He always messes up. But this is the ultimate sacrifice and the ultimate betrayal all rolled into one. He gave up his daughter so she could be a Forrester. But by telling her the truth now, he has destroyed her. And the timing of this could not be worse because Sheila is on the warpath. Sheila is already connecting the dots about Deacon and Taylor. Sheila saw that pizza box. She knows Deacon is lying. She is a predator circling her prey. And when Sheila finds out this secret, when Sheila realizes that Steffy is Deacon's daughter, Sheila is going to weaponize this. She is going to use this to force her way into the family. She will blackmail Steffy. Let me see my grandson Hayes. Let me be a part of your life. Or I will go to the press and tell the world that you are a shark. Steffy is going to be trapped. She will be a hostage to her own genetics and Sheila's psychotic demands. I am just typing so fast, my fingers are cramping. The implications for Forrester Creations alone could fill an entire month of episodes. Eric Forrester, what is Eric gonna say? Eric loves Steffy like a granddaughter, but Eric is all about the Forrester legacy. If Steffy isn't a Forrester, does Eric strip her of her co-CEO title? Does he hand the company over to Rick or RJ? Does Thomas launch a corporate coup to take over the company, claiming that he is the only true heir of Ridge Forrester? The business storyline alone is going to be a bloodbath. And think about the flashbacks we are going to get. They are going to have to show us scenes from the 90s. They are going to have to recast a young Taylor and a young Deacon to show us the affair. Or maybe they will just use heavy exposition, but the fans are going to lose their minds. The Taylor fans are going to be in absolute denial. They are going to say this is character assassination. They are going to say that Taylor would never do this. But the truth is, Taylor has always had a dark side. She shot Bill Spencer in the back. She bought a baby illegally. Taylor Hayes is not a saint. And this paternity fraud is the ultimate proof that she is just as flawed, just as messy, and just as human as the rest of them. And the scene where Taylor confesses, I just keep replaying it in my head. The broken mug on the floor, the sobbing, the desperation, Steffy looking at her mother with pure disgust. Steffy has always idolized Taylor. Steffy has always defended Taylor against Brooke. Steffy has always believed that her mother was the victim of Ridge's waffling. But now Steffy realizes that her mother was the villain of her own story. Taylor's lies created the foundation of Steffy's entire existence. Where does Steffy go from here? She can't stay at the Cliff House. She can't look at Taylor. She is going to have to run. She might take the kids and flee to Paris, but she can't run from her own blood. She is a shark. She has Deacon's blood running through her veins. Does this explain Steffy's wild side, her rebellious motorcycle riding days, her manipulative streaks? Because let's be honest, Steffy has always been a little bit darker than the rest of the Forresters. Maybe that wasn't Stephanie's influence. Maybe that was Deacon Sharp's DNA showing through. And I am just sitting here in the middle of the night, staring at my screen, realizing that daytime television has just peaked. There is no going back from this. You cannot put this genie back in the bottle. Once Ridge finds out, the Tridge relationship is dead forever. Ridge will never, ever forgive Taylor for stealing 30 years of fatherhood from him. Even if he still loves Steffy, the lie is too massive. And Brooke is going to be right there waiting to pick up the pieces and comfort Ridge. This is the ultimate victory for Brooke Logan. I know this article is a massive, clunky, rambling mess. I know I am repeating myself and using too many conjunctions and typing in sentence fragments, but I literally do not care. You guys needed to hear this immediately. You needed to know the absolute earthquake that is about to hit Los Angeles. You need to prepare yourselves for the screams, the tears, the broken glass, and the shattered lives. Because Deacon Sharp just changed the world. He just looked at the most powerful woman in the fashion industry and told her she is nothing but a bartender's secret mistake. And Taylor Hayes, the saintly psychiatrist, is about to be exposed as the biggest liar in soap opera history. So buckle up, guys. The next few weeks of The Bold and the Beautiful are going to be legendary. I am going to go try to get some sleep, but let's be real. I am just going to be staring at the ceiling, thinking about how Sheila is going to react to being Steffi's stepmom. It is just too much. Thank you for reading my exhausted ramblings. I will update you guys the second I hear more. But for now, just process this. Steffi Sharp. It just feels so wrong to even type it. All right, I am signing off. My coffee is cold, my eyes are blurry, and my mind is blown. Until next time, this is Jacqueline McInnes Wood's tired alter ego, bringing you the juiciest, most destructive spoilers on the planet. Bye for now.